The Surangama Sutra, Volume 4, 52. Ananda, consider how the eyes see darkness behind and light in front. With your peripheral vision included, you can see 2/3 around at most. Therefore, its capacity can be expressed as an efficacy which is not complete. 1/3 of its efficacy is without virtue. Know then that the eyes have an efficacy of only 800. Consider how the ears hear everywhere in the 10 directions without any loss. They hear movements, whether far or near, and stillness without bounds. Know then that the organ of hearing is complete with the efficacy of 1200. Consider how the nose smells odors with each inhalation and exhalation of the breath. It is deficient at the point between the inhalation and exhalation. The organ of smell can be considered to be deficient by 1/3. Know then that the nose has an efficacy of only 800. Consider how the tongue can proclaim the entirety of worldly and transcendental wisdom. Although language varies according to locality, the principles go beyond boundaries of any kind. Know then that the organ of the tongue is complete with an efficacy of 1200. Consider how the body is aware of touch, registering it as pain or pleasure. When it makes contact, it is aware of the thing touched. When it is isolation, it has no tactile knowledge of other things. Isolation has a single and contact a dual aspect. The organ of the body can be considered as deficient by 1/3. Know then that the body has an efficacy of only 800. Consider how the mind silently includes all worldly and transcendental dharmas of the 10 directions and 3 periods of time. Regardless of whether it be sagely or ordinary, everything is included in its boundlessness. Know then that the organ of the mind is complete, with an efficacy of 1200. Ananda, now you wish to oppose Ananda, now you wish to oppose the flow of desire that leads to birth and death. You should turn back the flow of the organs to reach a state of neither arising nor ceasing. You should investigate all of the 6 functioning organs to see which are uniting, which are isolated, which are deep, which are shallow, which will penetrate perfectly, and which are not perfect. If you can realize which organ penetrates perfectly, you can thereupon reverse the flow of its beginningless involvement in false karma and follow that to perfect penetration. The difference between that and an organ which is not perfect is like the difference between a day and an eon. I have now revealed to you the fundamental efficacy of the tranquil, perfect brightness of these 6. This is what the numbers are. It is up to you to select which one to enter. I will explain more to aid your progress in that. The Tathagatas of the 10 directions, cultivating by means of one or another of the 18 realms, attained perfect, unsurpassed body. For them, any of those 18 were generally adequate. But you are at an inferior level, and are not yet able to perfect comfortable wisdom among them. Therefore, I shall give you an explanation, so that you will be able to enter deeply into the door. Enter one without falseness, and the 6 sense organs will be simultaneously pure. Ananda said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, how do we oppose the flow, enter deeply into one door, and cause the 6 organs to simultaneously become pure? The Buddha told Ananda, you have already obtained the fruition of a Shotapana. You have already put an end to the view delusions that living beings in the 3 realms possess, but you do not yet know that your organs have accumulated habits that are without beginning. The severing of these habits must be done through cultivation. Including the numerous subtleties of their arising, dwelling, changing, and ceasing, you should now contemplate the 6 organs further. Are they 1 or 6? Ananda, if you say they are one, why can't the ears see? Why can't the eyes hear? Why can't the head walk? Why can't the feet talk? If the 6 organs are definitely 6, then as I now explain this subtle, wonderful Dharma door for you in this assembly, which of your 6 organs is receiving it? Ananda said, I hear it with my ears. The Buddha said, your ears hear by themselves? What then does that have to do with your body and mouth? And yet you ask about the principles with your mouth, and your body displays veneration. Therefore you should know that if they are not one, then they are 6, and if they are not 6, they must be 1. But you can't say that your organs are basically 1 and 6. Ananda, you should know that these organs are neither 1 nor 6. It is from being upside down and sinking into involvements throughout time without beginning that the theory of 1 and 6 has become established. As a Shrota Apana, you have dissolved the 6, but you still have not done away with the 1. That is like filling emptiness into differently shaped vessels, and then saying that emptiness is whatever shape the vessel is. And then, upon getting rid of the vessels, looking at emptiness and saying it is all the same. How can emptiness become the same or different at your convenience? Even less can you call it 1 or not 1. You should understand that the 6 receptive, functioning organs are the same way. Seeing occurs because the 2 attributes of darkness and light, and their like, firmly adhere to quietude in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of seeing reflects form and combines with forms to become an organ. This organ, which was originally the 4 pure elements, is called an eye, and is shaped like a grape. Of the 4 defiling objects that the sense organs located in the head pursue, this one races out after form. Hearing occurs because the 2 reverberations of movement and stillness, and their like, firmly adhere to quietude in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of hearing reflects sound, and resounds with it to become the organ of the ear. The primal composition of the ear organ is the purely defined 4 elements. Those portions we call the ears are shaped like fresh curled leaves. Of the 4 defiling objects that the sense organs pursue, this one is loosed upon sound. Smelling occurs because the 2 appearances of penetration and obstruction and their like firmly adhere to tranquility in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of smelling reflects the sense, and takes in sense to become the organ of the nose. The primal composition of the nose organ is the purely defined 4 elements. That portion we call the nose is shaped like a double hanging claw. Of the 4 defiling objects that the sense organs pursue, this one probes out after sense. Tasting occurs because the 2 blends of blandness and variety of flavor and their like firmly adhere to quietude in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of tasting reflects flavors and becomes entwined with flavors to become the organ of the tongue. The primal composition of the tongue organ is in the purely defined 4 elements. That portion we call the tongue is shaped like a crescent moon. Of the 4 defiling objects that the sense organs pursue, this one craves flavors. Sensation occurs because the 2 frictions of separation and union and their like firmly adhere to quietude in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of sensation reflects contact, and seizes upon contact to become the organ of the body. The primal composition of the body organ is the purely defined 4 elements. The portion we call the body is shaped like a table. Of the 4 defiling objects that the sense organs pursue, this one is compelled by contact. Knowing occurs because the 2 continuities of production and extinction and their like firmly adhere to quietude in what originally was wonderful perfection. The essence of knowing reflects dharmas and grasps them to become the organ of mind. The primal composition of the mind organ is in the purely defined four elements. Of the four defiling objects that the sense organs pursue, this one chases after dharmas. Ananda, because understanding is added to enlightenment, the six sense organs lose their essence and adhere to falseness, confining their brilliance. Therefore, apart from darkness and light, there is no substance to seeing for you now. Apart from movement and stillness, there basically is no disposition of hearing. Without penetration and obstruction, the nature of smelling does not arise. In the absence of variety and blandness, tasting does not occur. Lacking separation and union, the sensation of contact is fundamentally non-existent. Without arising and ceasing, knowing is put to rest.